It's finally here, guys. The 10,000 subscriber, super limited to amount sold, anniversary edition t-shirt. And to celebrate this occasion, I have changed the logo to red and white because that makes it special. And along with this, I have fictional quotes from pinball manufacturers as if they were the ones that were making this t-shirt. And some of the pinball manufacturers approve of this shirt. Get yours today at silverballswag.com. Links in the video description down below. Oh my god, I am so behind on making content for you guys. It's not even funny. I mean, we're creeping up on 3 weeks since Expo ended, for crying out loud. So I get it. You're like, Cary, where's the stuff? We're getting there. We're getting there. So anyways, guys, welcome back to the channel where I talk and do everything pinball. So if that sounds interesting to you, then hit that subscribe button down below. For those that don't know, I was invited to the Stern factory for a private tour. Zach Sharp actually reached out to me and said that, hey, if you're in Chicago on this day and time, then we invite you to come to the factory for a private tour. And I accepted. I never thought I would actually step foot in the factory, especially with my history and stuff, with the way I speak about the company sometimes and my opinions. But they invited me and I accepted. But without a doubt, I was a little hesitant, and I even mentioned in my email back towards Zach that, you know, if I get any vibes from like the ending of Goodfellas with Joe Pesci, something like that, I'm out. Oh no. But it wasn't just me or anything like that. It was like me and maybe 20 plus other content creators out there that were invited to check out the tour of the facility, obviously, and of course, the new Metallica machine. And at this point in time, I hadn't played XMen either. So this was a double banger for me to get my hands on XMen as well as the brand new Metallica. And that's what this video is going to be mainly about, is my thoughts and opinions towards those two games. But I just wanted to kind of touch base a little bit on the whole Stern factory tour and experience like that. I do feel that this was a very humbling experience for me. I got to obviously meet a lot of people in the facility and have conversations with people like Seth Davis and Zach Sharp, two people that are high up that I have never had a face-to-face conversation with. And I hope that we have furthermore in the future. So it was mainly like an educational experience for me also, because I never claimed to know everything. And that's why there are portions of my videos where decisions get made and they don't make sense. And that's why I usually say something like, you know, walk me through this, because from my perspective, they don't make sense. But from those that are actually in the industry and made these decisions, they have their reasons behind it. And for those that are starting to get concerned with my possible relationship forming with the Stern people over there, if that's going to be altering my thoughts and opinions on what they do in the future, it's not. I'm still going to, you know, call it how I see it or speak how I feel, and that's definitely going to be present in this video here. So let's get into it by talking about Metallica first, because honestly, that's probably what I have the most experience and time on. But for what little time that I did spend and record, this is mainly my thoughts and opinions on it. I feel that if you are a Metallica fan, like you love Metallica, you go to their concerts, and you love pinball, then chances are this is a game for you. If you loved the original Metallica game that was brought out over a decade ago, the chances are you're going to really love this game because you're getting the same layout, the same feel. People ask me, how do you feel about the new Metallica, Cary? How does it play? It plays like Metallica. if you've experienced the older game, then you're gonna feel basically the same with this one. Now they have upgraded a lot of the mechanics and little stuff like that within the game to improve the quality and longevity of it because they obviously learned from certain little things that were happening over time with their previous game. But definitely one of the things that were stepped up are the animation for the screen. I think this is probably the best animation that Stern has revealed in their games. This is definitely feels and seems like it has been like one of their top tier on when it comes to quality behind the animation for this. I was very impressed, and that's why I did like a 2-minute recording and uploaded that to you guys. It's not very often I get like, oh, here's what the animation for a particular game looks like, unless I feel that it needs to be spotlighted. And this is definitely one of those games where I felt the animation was something that needed to be highlighted for everybody out there. Now, when it comes to the audio, sadly, I didn't get to really fully experience that or anything. I don't know a lot of Metallica songs, but the fact that you're getting all of the songs that you've had before, plus the new ones, and I would like to think that the sound system is definitely better than the older game. So I think that's a win for you guys out there. If you liked all the songs that they had before, plus some of the new ones in there, I don't see how that could be a bad thing. Now, obviously, art is subjective. There's people out there that prefer the Dirty Donnie artwork, but me personally, I think this new art package is much better. I think it's more Metallica from what things that I have seen and the art packages that are things that get revealed on their concert stuff. This, in my opinion, is much more Metallica-esque. And I do know friends that are hardcore Metallica fans, and I remember showing them this trailer for their upcoming game, Metallica, and they said, and I quote, "That is the most effing badass game I've ever seen." So they are definitely impressed with what Stern has brought to the table, especially for you Metallica fans out there. Now, I also had an interview with John Borg while I was there. Sadly, the audio isn't as good as I'd like it to be. Turns out the receiver for my microphones wasn't all the way into the damn camera. And I didn't press the record buttons on the lapel mics. Again, all on me on this one. But I did still upload this video, the interview, for my Patreon people out there. So it is available for them to listen to if they can. I believe me and Borg are supposed to arrange something in the near future and have a discussion. I don't know, it's still up in the air at this point, but we shall see. This game was definitely a big hit at Expo. The lines were ridiculous, and they only brought 2 games. I'm glad they at least brought them. I was going to be a little bit like disappointed if they didn't even bring one to have behind like some ribbon for people to at least admire and take pictures of, but they did bring the premium and a limited edition for people to play. So that was good. The thing is, you had really long lines for just these 2 games. And for whatever reason, there are some of you out there that are really good at pinball and they're really good at playing a Metallica game. And this is evidently the time where you feel like this is my moment to shine. This is the moment where I need to go up here and GC this effing game at a pinball expo when I have multiple dozens of people behind me waiting to experience this game. Let me spend 45 damn minutes getting up into the multiple billion score for what? Um, Congratulations, you played a really good game. Meanwhile, you've got everybody behind you waiting to at least experience this damn game. You got plenty of time to experience it, to figure out whether or not you like this Metallica or not. There's no need to spend 45 minutes on there getting up into the multiple billions score range for what? No one's going to care. The only thing people are going to care about at the end of this is not whose initials are there. They're going to care about, that's the a-hole that spent 45 minutes on a game kind of thing. That's where that's going to be. This wasn't a competition. This wasn't a tournament. This was put on the damn floor for people to experience and figure out if it's something that they want to buy. That's what these games are mainly there for. Not to go, this is my moment to shine. Time to GC this son of a bitch. No, don't. But enough about Metallica. I think I've touched base with everything on that. Let's talk about XMen. And I got a few games while I was there at the Stern factory, but I think I've got most of my plays actually within this last weekend at my local arcade. And for those of you with your ear not too close to the ground to figure out what's going on with the current status of this game, one of the issues that was going on even during my visit was evidently there was some sort of plunge issue, whether it be an auto plunge or actually pulling the plunger yourself, the shooter rod. The ball wasn't making it completely around and servicing to the flipper. And that can be very disappointing. There's nothing more disappointing for me when I'm playing a pinball machine than a bad plunge. Like if it doesn't feel good, it's disappointing. And that's we can go on talking about other games that have that same experience, but definitely it didn't feel consistent on the plunge for this particular game. And I felt also that there was other versions of this game that just felt different. And I remember asking Jack, Danger at the time too about this because this was a common question was that the auto plunge issue or the plunge issue with the game is being looked into. Supposedly, as of right now, they, I guess, have identified the problem and fixes are in place to correct it. When it comes to the other proclamation here, or the other basically highlighting of an issue, is that people are saying that this is a game that needs to be set up just right in order for it to play correctly. I asked Jack about this, and he strongly disagrees. That's from the person who created the game, guys. So it's like I'm torn. I've got the guy that made the game telling me no, it's not a game that has to be set up perfectly. And then you have the multitude of different people who own the game now that say otherwise. So that's where a rock and a hard place right there, guys. But like I can say that I want to say that every game, different one I played while at Expo, at Stern, and now including my local arcade, they all seem to play a little bit different. And the only like cause for something like that is manufacturing. Are they being put together or assembled the same every time? And when you have hundreds of different parts, it's not uncommon for something like that to happen, but for whatever reason it seems like this game is much more prevalent in having that possible issue. But issues or possible issues aside, how do I feel about this X-Men game? So, with that being said, I think that this so far, how it shoots, let's talk about that first. Design, layout, how it shoots, this game is great. I really enjoy the shots. Almost every damn shot is satisfying for me, especially the uptown shot that loops around that little figure eight and comes back to your right flipper. Feels so good. The danger room, I feel that it's definitely not being utilized all the time, so it's not like I'm constantly in there, so it makes it feel like it's another upper play field or a lower play field that only kind of gets played with every once in a while. It's definitely difficult to keep an eyeball on that flipper and what's going on, as well as the other two flippers that are right beside it. But in a way, it's easier than having to keep an eye on your upper flipper for like Foo Fighters to kind of go through that while you're trying to keep your balls down below during a multi-ball. But I do agree that I'm kind of accustomed to the offset flippers, the non-Italian bottom. It didn't bother me at all. I didn't feel like it was off-putting or it didn't affect my OCD or anything. I really enjoyed the uniqueness of this layout, and that's what I really enjoyed about just seeing images of it whenever it was first released. Was just like, this looks unique. It looks different. I like it. But after playing it a lot of the times, nothing's changed on that. I still like it. It still feels good. Now, let's talk about I guess, the low end of it right now. And that would be the code. The code currently, it's enough to give you the ability to experience the game and to accomplish tasks. You got that. I do feel that there needs to be improvements, and there's room for that. I think we're currently on 0.85, 0.86, maybe a little bit more. I don't know the exact current code on that or what current code I was playing on, but there's definitely room for improvements at this time. We're still a little bit early, so things will be polished. But I guess one of my main complaints at this point in time is that whenever I get like, transported to the future, the game gets dark, which I'm not a big fan of dark playfields in the first place, but that aside, it's like, okay, cool. And then it comes up with like the rules or instructions on what you're supposed to do while you're in the future. And be prepared to read a short novel on how to play the current mode that you're in. It's not self-explanatory. You're not going to get in there and go, I know what to do just by the playfield telling me. That's not a good sign, is when you have to read multiple. I think I should have recorded it, but I want to say there's at least like 2 or 3 small paragraphs on what you're supposed to do while you're in this mode. I don't like that. It almost seemed like I was reading like the credits for Star Wars or something to begin on how to play a particular mode, which is when you're getting traveled to the future on that. I would like to see that changed, and that's the troubling part for you out there that's designing it, Wason and stuff, is that I don't know how you're gonna be able to improve that. Maybe better lighting on the play field to basically give people an idea how to play, but the whole using the action button, holding it down and stuff like that, turning it into like a almost a Star Wars-esque type of like gameplay style and using the action button more often than I think I really should in a pinball machine. I don't know, but that's just me. There's a little bit of room for subjectivity when it comes to code, but that was one thing that when I was playing this game and it goes into the future and all that text came up on there on how to play, especially if you're younger and you're just wanting to enjoy a game, that's going to come on there. You're not going to read it. It's going to be TLDR on that one. Too long, didn't read, comes up, whatever. I just want to get back to shooting. So if they can do something to improve that portion of the code in particular to where the game is much better on explaining how to do stuff with just using the playfield lights, that would be good. But obviously, the code will be getting better over time. But as it is current state, I do feel like the Pro is the way to go. I mean, this Pro is still pretty much loaded with every shot. You have all the same shots. You're not missing anything from the Pro and the Premium other than the fancy pull-down ramps of the robots or the Sentinel's arms and the finger banging ball back to you and stuff. And at first, I wanted to say, I was like, no, it's Premium or nothing. But once I got to play the Pro and the Premium, I was like, well, I mean, what am I really missing? I'm not really missing a lot because even on like the Pro, the Sentinel doesn't move up or down, but your ball is still not able to go any further into the playfield or do anything different other than the fact that your Sentinel's just always up. So that to me, I was like, okay, no big deal on that. And then the wire form pull down on the right side of the playfield, that screwed me over more times than anything whenever I played it at the Stern facility. The Sentinel pulls the wire form down, ball went straight down the damn middle. Not going to miss that either. Now, when it comes to the Sentinel's right hand on the left side of the playfield with the finger, I honestly only got to experience that one time. Yeah, it looked cool, but I just don't know if I would miss it so much. And as far as the varying target portion towards the middle of the playfield back there to the left of the Sentinel, I don't know. I would have to play more of the Premium, I guess, to really feel if that's like something that's awesome and then I would miss. But on the Pro, I'm having plenty of fun just on the Pro is what I'm trying to state here, guys. And if people are asking me, are you going to get it? Are you going to get it? At this point in time, I don't have a need or an urge to get it. I'm like, why do I need to get the game whenever my local arcade has one now? So it's literally just a couple of minutes away for me to get my fix in. And the code still needs work. So why would I want to spend full price, at least at this current point in time, for a game that it still needs to be worked on when it comes to code, and I don't need to because it's merely just up the road. I mean, if anything, I might just hold off and wait till the arcade's ready to buy a better game, and I'll just buy his game. I don't know. We're gonna see. But as of right now, I don't have any urgency to buy the game now. But I do enjoy the game, definitely. So there you have my current thoughts and opinions with X-Men and the new Metallica. By all means, tell me how you feel about the games in the comments section down below. And until next time, guys, peace out. It's like I'm sitting there trying to wonder about this individual that's putting up this ridiculously high score on Metallica. If it ever even crosses the individual's mind that there are people waiting behind him to experience this game. If it's just a matter of like, I don't care about them, I just want my full experience while I'm at Expo, if that's the mentality going for it. But me, it's like, I mean, at a certain point, you kind of have to go, man, I'm really spending a lot of time on this game. I mean, there's like literally 20 plus people waiting to experience this, and I am taking up a lot of time on it. But that's just me. Maybe I care more about other people than people care about other people, but that's just whatever.